So I'm here with Heath Thompson from Buxton Projects. Good to see you, mate. How are you?
Good to see you, Mike. Thanks for having me along.
How's 2025 shaping up so far?
It's actually started a little bit better than I thought. It was a pretty tough year last year, and we've had some really encouraging signs. So some buyers which have been sitting around waiting, throughout last year and saying waiting for things to change, and sort of circling back, and some really positive signs. So yeah, I'm encouraged.
Is it one segment in particular that you're finding is responding more, or is it across the board? Like, what are you seeing?
Oh, look, our stock is pretty heavily weighted towards downsizers. So, obviously that's where we see most of the reaction. But we've actually seen some investors coming back to the market, and given that we haven't really been targeting that, I think that's really encouraging.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think certainly there's a ton more confidence this year from the developer side. As I was saying to you just before we started filming, we've had more project launches in February than any other time in the company's history, and I think that's largely due to kind of people having developments that they've been waiting to launch and waiting, and I think now is the time where it's kind of go time.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of developers out there who've been copying a bit of that bill shock. They go out and get their quote and whatever else, and it comes back and it's way blown out the feasibility. So I think people are now getting their ducks in a row and sort of ready to really crack on. So I think it's an exciting time.
Yeah, awesome. And so we'll do a bit of a deep dive into some of your projects that you've got on market now, if that's all right.
Yeah, great.
So should we start off with the Edison and Fitzroy North?
Yep. Yeah, really exciting project, this one. The developer here is Second Nature, really experienced group, and have delivered some really good projects through a variety of brands. But the architect here is Austin Maynard Architects, and Andrew Maynard is a North Fitzroy local, so absolutely knows this area. And it's been amazing, actually, the response of buyers that we've had to this project, and how tight the circle of influence is, so to speak. I think we've got about 200 odd inquiries so far, and I think about 5, and I'm not exaggerating here, 5 of those have come from outside of North Fitzroy. So
it's a 2.5% of inquiries come from non-local.
So everyone either lives in North Fitzroy currently or has lived there previously and wants to move back.
Interesting.
It's incredible how tight this network is around here.
I think in those areas, particularly in Fitzroy North, Brunswick, etc., making sure that the design and the facade looks good in the local context is kind of super important for sales success, particularly when you've got north of 90% of the inquiries coming from a local kind of thing. You don't want to get the locals offside.
Oh, that's exactly it. And I think as you look at the facade of the building, there's this sort of natural rhythm that vertical rhythm carries through down St George's Road, and it's been really well respected with this design. And you've got this hit and miss brickwork facade, which allows a lot of natural light to come in, but it also provides a bit of privacy, and it just really does integrate with the streetscape.
And talk to us about the sales and marketing strategy, because obviously you've got there's a lot of projects happening, in the broader Fitzroy area when you include Fitzroy and Fitzroy North. Fitzroy North is a different market to Fitzroy.
Yeah, it is.
Talk us through how do you think about it when you started working with the developer?
Yeah, well, it's completely different, and that's something that took us probably a little while to wrap our head around, for me to wrap my head around. It's probably more to the point, and because Fitzroy itself, there is quite a few projects there. There's quite a bit of competition, but the people that are in this location in North Fitzroy want to stay in North Fitzroy. It is incredibly specific. So there's Edinburgh Gardens, there's Petermontes, there's all these local haunts for the area, which they're the must. I've actually had one buyer came through, and she actually her criteria for the purchasing home is how far it is from Petermontes. So she measures it all in metres to Petermontes. This one, she said, this might be a bit too close, it's a bit dangerous. I'm going to have gourmet cheeses coming out of my because I'm going to be there all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like we're in a new office now, and I think the pubs are too quite higher quality, a little too close, and it becomes very dangerous on from 4 o'clock onwards.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
And so kind of with this one, what I really like about the project is the interiors. It's got quite a light, breezy kind of feel, which is, not common, but is really popular in that kind of inner north sort of area. Talk us through the process of how they kind of came together with this design, because it looks awesome.
Yeah, look, we're really happy the way it's come together, and I think the basis of this is to give a purchaser a blank canvas for it to really be what they want it to be, because a lot of interior design does sort of pigeonhole you into a certain type of interior. Can only go certain colours, whatever else. Where you have that real sort of blank canvas, the focus on interiors then becomes on texture and quality of materials and such. And that's where I think Austin Maynard have done an incredible job here, is the quality of the design. Things like fluted glass for shower screens, landscaping. We've got huge light wells that bring full-size trees coming up through glass brick.
Yeah, this sounds cool.
Yeah, it's incredible. So you can see that large tree, deciduous tree, growing up through the building and providing that real colour change throughout the seasons. It's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, look, the project looks awesome. And so the what I liked in this one as well was the kind of use of space in the bedroom. So this one's obviously got like a little studio, people can work from home. Are you finding the buyers are like buying their next home, or is it the first home, or what are the kind of or is it downsizing like?
Yeah, there's quite a bit of downsizing, and that's definitely the target market here. But we'll see some of those which are upsizing as well, and that little bit in between. But the flexibility of space is really the important bit. We talk about a 2 or 3 bedroom home, and the discussion we have with buyers is, okay, well, how do you use those bedrooms? So often a 3-bedroom home, it's 2 bedrooms and a study, or 2 bedrooms and a second living space. The husband often gets kicked into the small room to watch the footy, right? So he needs to have a little space where that works well. So it works on terrible stereotypes there, but that's that's kind of the reality of some of the situations. But that's really about tailoring that to what suits that buyer, because our initial design is probably really most of the time 80-90% complete. You really need the buyer to help you finish that last bit to make it right for them.
Yeah, I think that's so important in the sales process as well. It's kind of understanding what the buyer's really looking for. And then when you've got, one of the great things about Off the Plan is that you're able to kind of have some customization. So extracting the insight from the buyer in terms of, what does your lifestyle look like? Are you gonna get banished to the other room to watch the footy or whatever it is? Understanding those things and making sure that they can be pulled out so you can customize it and really make it feel like the person's own property.
Yeah, exactly. And part of our job really there is to make sure that we're guiding down a path of things which are actually possible. Yeah. Because there's all sorts of wonderful ideas, but some things which are, they say just about anything's possible in construction, but it's just a matter of how much it costs. So it's about keeping things realistic and making sure that we can actually deliver on the promises.
In terms of price point, like I was just looking at this one here, like this is pretty bougie. Is this a shared space or is it an individual apartment? And like what are we doing where's the price point at?
So that's a shared space there. So the idea is that we've got some pretty amazing views in this location. This shot really shows that. You can see the city right there. Edinburgh Gardens, that are off to the left, is right there at your doorstep. The library is right across the road. Like it's really got everything this location has to offer.
It's also pretty low rise as well, which I know people in that area, they prefer that. They also don't want to live in a huge building, which obviously this is also a fit for that.
Yeah, and we're catering to a real cross section here. So we've got everything from a 2-bedroom apartment in the low $1 million range to penthouses, up over $4 million, and we've got townhouses as well, which is a really unique offering. So
in this project,
in this building, So the rear side of the building, accesses a laneway, and we've got 4 townhouses which run across that laneway with private courtyards, and two-level living, again with basement car parking as well, and heaps of storage.
How much are they, the townhouse?
Oh, they start at 2.25 and range up to just over 3. So
sweet.
Yeah, so it's a nice spread.
Good value, for you're not too far from the city.
Yep.
All right. So, any other thoughts on the Edison, or should we move on to the Osprey?
Oh, just come and buy one, Mike. I reckon you look good there.
Mate, it's kind of not too far. I mean, like I'm not that far away from Fitzroy North, so it's a bit of a vibe. Right. So let's take a look at Safety Beach. So again, like this is kind of a slightly different project in the sense you've got, there's not a ton of developments in the area. So it's kind of a different strategy. But so do you want to talk about this project? Who's the developer? How did you come across it?
Yeah, so this one here is actually a completed building. So we're not selling off the plan here. The builder and developer is Figurehead. So I think most people are used to Figurehead being the builder rather than the developer.
Yeah.
And this is kind of I guess what we like about this building, the quality of this build is next level.
Yeah.
Like we say that when we're selling off the plan because there's everything's going to be amazing, but we know the reality is that there's some cost savings that need to come throughout a project, and sometimes there's been a history where things don't quite turn out exactly like you want. Whereas this one here, it's where a builder has kind of been left to do what they want to do and build it the way they want to build it. And they've already won awards for it. The proof's in the pudding. This thing is amazingly built.
Yeah, awesome. And when was construction completed?
Completed March last year, so March 24. And so we've got we're about a third of the way through the project now as we stand. We've only started working on the last let's say about 4 months.
Yeah.
So but we're really happy with the take up so far. Again, we've had an investor come into this building, which is not really what we were targeting. So which surprised me. We've got local downsizers throughout the peninsula, anywhere up from Frankston South and coming down the other side. And
so mostly local people from the peninsula.
Yeah, most of the inquiry has been local. So we were expecting a bit more sort of almost like a holiday home style buyer, and we have had a bit of that inquiry, but most of all the buyers are really locals.
Yeah, interesting. And so talk me through are these people moving from a house in the area, or are they? Because there's not a ton of apartment stock in the area, but if you're looking for something that's kind of lower maintenance and you don't want to hit the hassle of mowing lawns and doing all that stuff.
Yep.
I'm pretty lazy. I'm kind of like that. So is it those type of buyers? And yeah,
exactly. No, you hit the nail on the head. That's what people are doing. Coming from larger homes, which are a bit more intensive as far as maintenance goes, looking for something where they can have an easier lifestyle, travel more. It's right at it's right in the Martha Cove master plan. So you've got the marina right there. So if you've got a boat in the marina or in the boat storage, pick up the phone, put the boat in the water, and off you go. More time fishing, less time mowing lawns. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, cool. And so, so these guys built and developed it. And so talk to us about price.
Yeah, so we've got 2-bedroom apartments here starting from $795,000, as you can see there, and 3 bedrooms starting from $1,080,000. So the value prospect in this project is pretty serious. It's a great value project.
Mate, look at this. So I know developers and project marketers, not so much yourself, but in general, people don't like talking about price per square metre because it kind of commoditizes the product and stuff, and I get it.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at this here, it's 77 square metres and it's $795,000.
Yeah.
It's kind of what
you're 10 grand a metre.
Yeah, 10 grand a metre.
Yeah.
That you can't build it for 10 grand a metre.
And that's the thing. And then we talk about everything that's happened over the last few years, escalating cost of construction and so on and so forth. It's broken record stuff, but everyone's it's a fact.
Yeah.
This is below replacement cost. You couldn't build it for this.
Yeah.
And,
that's kind of a good sign, right? When you're kind of thinking about investment, and perhaps that's kind of why, but despite the project was not actually originally built for investors, I'm not surprised that you're kind of getting that interest.
Yeah, well, I think the opportunity is real. And so there's going to be people going to want to take advantage of that.
Yeah, awesome, mate. And what's your take for the rest of the year? What do you reckon 2025's got in store for us?
Yeah, I think we're positive about the way that year started, and I think the rhetoric, so to speak, in the press is changing. Obviously, interest rates is the talk of the town at the moment. What happens the next few days, it will be pretty critical. But I think even if we don't get a rate drop the next RBA meeting, we know it's going to happen at some stage. So we know we're in the process of now a rate reductions rather than speculation and nervousness of whether they're going to go up.
Yeah.
So we know Melbourne's in a position now where we've got the lowest median value of the capital cities. I mean, who would have thought we'd be in a position now? We're saying Perth, Adelaide, Brisbane, all gone high.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's
the
just
fact that it's got to that point, but it does create opportunity.
It does. It just so Melbourne's primed to go. It's always been a matter of when rather than if. So the time's now for it to start ticking. So,
and are you looking at take on any more projects this year, and what types of projects, if you are looking at them?
Yeah, look, we are definitely looking at taking on projects, but we're always careful about what we do take on. We want to make sure that they're good projects. We've just sold out now Gallery in Glen Iris, which has been a fantastic project, great team to work with. And working with the team rather than sort of trying to push against it. We really want to be, team ethos is part of the way we do business. We want to be part of it. We want to work with them to make sure we get a good result.
I mean, that's how we've found working with you over the years. It's working in this kind of like collaborative way and tweaking things and optimizing as we go.
Yeah, I think everyone's got an idea and everyone's got a voice, and we all want to make sure that everyone has that voice in a project. So it's not one size fits all. It doesn't work like that.
Well, Heath, good to catch up, my friend. Here's to a better 2025 than 2024. And stoked to be working with you as always, mate.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks for having me along. Thanks, Mike.